Wittgenstein once said, 2,500 years of Western philosophy are just a series of footnotes to Plato's philosophy. When we open the history of Western philosophy, can we find those who are content to be footnotes to Plato? I think Augustine, known as the father of medieval Christian philosophy, is a typical representative. In philosophy, Augustine humbly stated that he was not an innovator. On the contrary, Christianity also strengthened the determination to convert to Christianity. Why did Augustine favor it so much? What about Plato's philosophical thoughts? In fact, as early as when he was 18 years old, he had already come into contact with Cicero's Hortensius and the art of persuasion. During his youth, he already had a great admiration for ancient Greek Plato, held great admiration for, and in Rome at that time, the most popular Neoplatonist was Proclus. This is also in philosophy, the philosopher who had the deepest influence on Augustine. As for Proclus himself, he was also a philosopher who willingly followed in Plato's footsteps. Proclus, once in Alexandria, studied philosophy for a period of 11 years. When he was 40 years old, he decided to go to Rome to teach philosophy. During his teaching in Rome, he also gained the favor of many nobles. This included the Roman emperor and his wife at the time. As a fervent fan of Plato, Proclus not only inherited his philosophical ideas, but also to a certain extent, inherited Plato's political views. He once suggested to the Roman emperor and his wife, in the Campania region, following Plato's design of the Republic city-state design in the Republic, to establish a new ideal state. Of course, this proposal was rejected. After Proclus's death, his works were compiled by his disciple Philoponus into 6 volumes totaling 9 chapters, which is what we call the 9 chapters. Philoponus also simultaneously compiled many works of Plato and Aristotle. He also discussed 3 important questions regarding the controversy of the common properties. In previous content, we have already explained in detail how Augustine answered these 3 questions. While reading the 9 chapters, Augustine discovered that Proclus had some views in metaphysics that he strongly agreed with. Firstly, he believed that the immaterial world is a world completely separate from the material world. It is evident that this claim is inherited from Plato's theory of ideas. Secondly, Proclus believed that people possess a spiritual perception to understand God and the immaterial world. Furthermore, more importantly, according to Neoplatonists, evil is not a reality, but rather a lack of goodness. It can be said that Neoplatonism helped Augustine overcome his previous skepticism and dualistic thoughts. Through understanding Plato's ideas, Augustine also understood that not all activities are physical activities. The reality of the spiritual is as real as the physical, and is also an objective existence. He does not need to separate soul and body, behind matter and spirit, to imagine 2 completely different origins. So according to Plotinus' view, it is actually a hierarchy. The material we see as real is actually at the lowest level. Unlike those fathers who believed before reason, Augustine, it is precisely through philosophical reflection on Neoplatonism that in his heart, he confirmed the rationality of Christianity's existence. He saw the philosophical expression behind all this. This is also why, in his works on the Trinity and City of God, he integrated a lot of Neoplatonic philosophy. So in Augustine's view, Neoplatonism and the philosophical expression of Christianity are almost the same thing. He once said, "I am convinced of this. Among the Platonists, I will find teachings that are not contradictory to our religion. From this moment on, I am determined never to depart from the authority of Jesus Christ, because I have found there is nothing more powerful than this authority. I must also follow this authority with the utmost rational precision. To follow this authority, therefore, on the question of whether faith needs to be rational, Augustine believes that the two are not in conflict at all. Reason should serve its own faith. All human knowledge is for the purpose of getting closer from the perspective of Christian faith. Thinking about humanity 9. From this perspective, in Augustine, and even in the entire system of medieval philosophy, theology and philosophy cannot be completely separated. To understand the philosophy of this period, one must also consider the theological views of these philosophers. Interim, we even need to have a lot of knowledge of religious studies, understanding the development and changes in general Christianity's history. In my personal opinion, anything philosophical must first be erudite, such as ancient Greek philosophy with mathematics, geometry, astronomy, physics, formal logic, and so on intersect. Roman philosophy with ethics, law, rhetoric, and the intersection of political science. Medieval philosophy with theology, religious studies, and so on intersect. The history of philosophy is of extraordinary significance to me personally, just as the land is to seeds and tree roots. Tree roots are to tree trunk. Next time, let's talk about Augustine's Confessions. Delve into the legendary life of this great father of the Church. Follow me for a popular look at philosophy. Friends, see you next time.